Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Museum Munchkins. I'm Mr. Nick, and today we are learning all about dolphins. And so let's start off by singing a dolphin song. Now, I really like this song. So this dolphin song, there's a special part that I'm going to need your help with, and that's during the middle part of this song called the refrain. That's the part of the song that repeats itself over and over again in the middle of the song. So there's a verse, and then there's the refrain, and that's the part that repeats itself. And during the refrain, I'm going to need your help making some dolphin noises, like this. Ee, ee, ee. Can you try making that sound with me? Ee, ee, ee. Very good. Yeah, it's sort of a high, squeaky sound. And so when we sing this song, the refrain part that I need your help with goes like this. Swim in the sea. Ee, ee. Can you practice doing that? Swim in the sea. Ee, ee. Swim in the sea. Ee, ee. Swim in the sea. Live in a pod. Swim in the sea. Very good. Excellent. So now we've practiced that. When we get to that part of the song, you'll be able to help out and sing along with us. Are you ready? All right, here we go. So when they get in the notion, they jump out of the ocean with tail fluke locomotion. The dolphin family swim in the sea. Ee, ee. Swim in the sea. Ee, ee. Swim in the sea. Live in a pod. Swim in the sea. Ee, ee. Very good. Now I bet you didn't suppose their blowhole was their nose. The in and out the air goes the dolphin family. Swim in the sea. Ee, ee. Swim in the sea. Ee, ee. Swim in the sea. Live in a pod. Swim in the sea. Ee, ee. Very good. Let's do the first verse and the refrain again. Are you ready? When they get in the notion, they jump out of the ocean with tail fluke locomotion. The dolphin family swim in the sea. Ee, ee. Swim in the sea. Ee, ee. Swim in the sea. Live in a pod. Swim in the sea. Ee, ee. Very good. Thank you so much for singing that song with us today. I'm going to set my guitar down so we can learn and talk all about dolphins today. Now, have you ever seen a dolphin before? Maybe you've been to an aquarium or a zoo that has a dolphin, or maybe you live in a place where there are dolphins, or you've been lucky enough to be on vacation somewhere and seen dolphins jumping in the ocean. Well, dolphins are amazing animals that live on our planet, that live in the oceans and actually even live in some rivers around around the planet. Now, most people are most familiar with the bottlenose dolphin. And usually when we think of a dolphin, that's sort of what we picture as a bottlenose dolphin. But did you know that there are actually 40 different species of dolphin that live on our planet? So they actually range in size from about 5.5 feet long, which is a dolphin known as the Maui's dolphin, which lives down near New Zealand, all the way up to 31 feet long, the biggest dolphin known as the orca. Have you ever heard that word before, orca? So actually, orca is another name for the killer whale. And did you know that killer whales actually aren't whales? They're dolphins. They're the largest species of dolphin that live, of oceanic dolphin that live on our planet. I think that that's amazing. Now, dolphins have torpedo-like bodies, really smooth and thin and sort of pointed at the front end with a big tail at the other end to push them through the water. And they are excellent swimmers. Their arms, so just like our arms, can you show me your arms? A dolphin's arms have actually been modified and adapted into flippers on the sides of their body that help them steer while they're in the water. And their tail has been modified into a wide fluke that helps to push them through the water. Now, dolphins are fast swimmers, and most of them usually cruise along at about 6 to 17 miles per hour. But the orca can actually swim up to about 35 miles an hour. And they have bulbous, round heads. Bulbous, that's a fun word, isn't it? That means that they're kind of a round head with small eyes and a long snout at the front of their bodies. And the roundness on the front of their heads, that bulbous bunch at the front of their heads, that actually comes from a special organ that they have inside their heads called the melon. That's kind of an easy word to remember. Has anyone ever called your head your melon before? So dolphins, though, in the front of their heads have something called their melon. And the melon is actually what they use to make their sort of high-pitched squeaking and clicking sounds. So actually the clicking that they make comes out from their melon, and it works like an underwater echo. Do you know what an echo is? So like maybe if you're in a cave or in a big room and you say a word and then you listen, you can actually hear the word bounce back off the walls and come back to your ears. So it sounds like you said it twice. Have you ever heard something like that before? Where you go, echo, and then you listen and you hear echo, echo, echo. Well, a dolphin's melon makes clicks, and then those clicks actually travel through the water. The sound of those clicks travels through the water, and when they hit something, they bounce back and make an echo that the dolphins actually hear in their jaw. So they actually, the noise comes back in their jaw and they hear it, and actually they use that to help them see when it's really dark or to help them find their food or find other dolphins. We call that echolocation. And it's really interesting. It's really interesting that that's how, it's one of the ways that dolphins help them to see and get around in their environments. And also that squeaking noise that they also make those squeaky noises to communicate with each other, with other dolphins. And actually what I learned, which is really exciting, is that dolphins actually all have their own unique squeak that they use to talk about themselves, kind of like how we have a name. Like my name is Mr. Nick. There might be a dolphin named Mr. Nick, except for it doesn't sound like Mr. Nick. It sounds like it sounds like a bunch of squeaking sounds. But those squeaking sounds can be unique to one specific dolphin so that the dolphins know who they're talking about, what dolphin they're talking about, which is really fascinating, isn't that? Now, dolphins have really sharp, pointed teeth that are kind of look like a cone. So a cone, if you think about like an ice cream cone, how the top of it is round and circular, and the bottom of it comes down to a point. Well, that's what a dolphin's teeth look like. They're kind of cone-shaped, so they're round on the bottom and pointy up at the tip where they bite things. And they need those sharp, pointed teeth to help them catch all the different types of food that they like to eat. Lots of different types of fish or squids, or even bigger dolphins, like the killer whale, uses their teeth to catch seals and other large animals that they eat. Now, on top of their head, you'll also find their blowhole. And their blowhole is actually their nose. And that's what they use to breathe when they're swimming along. So they will come up for air and blast the water that has accumulated on the top of their blowhole. They'll blast that up to breathe out their air, and then they'll take a big deep breath back in with their blowhole, and then they can swim around for a few more minutes underwater before they come back up and they need another breath of air out of their blowhole. Now also, just underneath a dolphin's skin, you'll find a layer of blubber. So blubber is fat that's underneath their body, and it can be really thin layer of blubber or a really thick layer of blubber, depending on where the dolphin lives and if it's really warm or really cold. But that blubber is also what's used to help make the fin, the dorsal fin on the back of their bodies, and to make the fluke on their tail that helps to push them through the water. Now, dolphins are actually also sometimes thought as some of Earth's most intelligent animals, along with us humans, and they're actually able to teach and learn from each other, which is something that we don't see in most animals. They can cooperate and work together. They can make plans for the future, and they even sometimes feel sad when bad things happen, which actually isn't something that a lot of animals do. So dolphins actually have a really complex intelligence that scientists are still learning more about. And they are very social animals, and they often live in a pod of other dolphins, usually from around 12 to 15 other dolphins, but sometimes if there's lots and lots of food, dolphins can live in groups, in pods of up to 1,000 dolphins. That's a ton of dolphins in just one area. And actually, speaking of dolphins learning and teaching each other, that's part of actually a dolphin culture that scientists are learning more about right now. So bottlenose dolphins in the wild have actually been observed actually having a culture amongst their pods, which is something that we kind of think of as uniquely human, having culture. Maybe we see it a little bit in other primates like chimpanzees, but certainly not in other animals like dolphins, but now we are seeing that, which is really fascinating. And they actually teach each other skills. Like bottlenose dolphins have been seen going down into reefs and collecting sponges, and then wearing the sponges on their noses to protect their noses while they're looking for food around the reef so their noses don't get cut up. And then teaching that behavior to other dolphins. That's fascinating, I think. So they are really, really interesting animals, and they're also really good at taking care of each other. And we've been seen taking care of sick or weak other dolphins, or even taking care of other species, which is fascinating. And of course, dolphins love to play and jump and splash and sing with each other. So dolphins are just really amazing animals, and we have a story today about a dolphin who is just starting out his life. It's about a story about a baby dolphin. So let's go check out that story. All right, today's story is Dolphin Baby by Nicola Davies and illustrated by Britta Granstrom. Tail first, head last, dolphin pops out into the blue. He's creased and crinkled from being curled inside his mother. His tail flukes are floppy from being folded for so long. He's all brand new, but right away he swims up, up, up. His blowhole opens when it touches the air, and he takes his first breath. Mom is right beside him, and they breathe together in perfect time. When Mom swims, Dolphin knows that he must follow. Swimming and following are things baby dolphins are born knowing. But suckling takes a little practice. Dolphin dives beneath his mother to find one of her nipples. They are tucked into slits under her belly.
It takes him a while to get it right, and then he needs to take another breath or two. Mom and Dolphin rest together. Dolphin rubs his tummy on Mom's round head. Mom strokes him with her flipper. She whistles to him a whistle that is just hers, and her name in dolphin sound. Shreep! He whistles back, but for now, his whistles make no sense. They're just baby talk. Others have arrived to take a look at newborn Dolphin. They're all around. Their voices fill the water. They're curious about this new member of their group. But Mom knows that what new babies need is peace and quiet. Soon she swims away with Dolphin close beside her. In just a few weeks, Dolphin has grown so much. His folds and creases are all gone. He's smooth and gray. He doesn't swim beside his mom now, the way newborn babies do, but underneath her tail, like bigger calves. Now he's old enough to make friends. The youngsters play, chasing, carrying, showing off. But then Mom whistles, and Dolphin knows he must go back. Playing can't take all day. Mom needs to swim off and hunt for food. Dolphin stays close, but sometimes Mom zooms after fish too fast for him to follow. Or dives deep where he can't go. Dolphin hears her clicking, using sounds and echoes to find food where it's too dark or deep for her to see. He clicks too and listens to the echoes of his voice so he can hear Mom's shape and movement when she's out of sight. Mom doesn't stay away for long. She whistles, shreep! When she's coming back, she brings a fish for Dolphin, still alive. He clicks at it to learn the echoey shape it makes, so that one day he'll be able to catch his own. Then Mom eats it up in 2 quick bites. No need to share, as Dolphin is still fed by her milk. It's been 6 months since Dolphin popped into the blue. He's not a grown-up yet, but he's not a baby anymore either, because today Dolphin has caught his first fish. And when Mom whistles her sound name, shreep, he doesn't whistle back in baby talk, but answers with a whistle that's his very own. This whistle will be his for all his life. His name in Dolphin. The end. All right, so for today's craft, we're going to actually be making a jumping, splashing dolphin. And for this activity, we are going to need just a few things. We're going to need 2 paper plates. We're going to need some blue paint and some white paint and a paintbrush. We're going to need a piece of construction paper, whatever color you want your dolphin to be. I want mine to be sort of a kind of a grayish, purpley color, I think. And then I'm just going to need a glue stick, some scissors, and one of these brass brads to hold it all together. So let's take one out of the package. So I just need one there. And I'm also going to use this marker to maybe draw some fish for my dolphin to be chasing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paint and on one of my paper plates, I'm going to paint it blue, a dark blue, just the blue by itself. And that's going to be my ocean water. And then the other plate, I'm going to mix some blue and white together, and that's going to make my sky. So I already painted these before so that they're already dry and ready for me to start working with them. So I've got my 2 paper plates painted, and now I'm going to take my scissors, and in the middle of my paper plate, there is a circle, and I'm going to cut around that circle, so I just have the middle part of my paper plate. So I'm going to cut out this first paper plate here. That's going to be my water. And look, because I painted this plate too, I bet I could find a cool way to reuse this piece of the paper plate I cut off. It kind of looks a little bit like an eel. Maybe I could make an eel craft with that. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this plate. I'm going to cut out around that circle and reuse it. There we go. So now I've got these two circles that are about the same size, and these two leftover plates that I'm going to find something to do with these. Now I'm going to take, I've got my lighter blue one, that's going to be my sky, and I've got this darker blue one. And on my darker blue one, I'm going to actually cut some waves out of it. So I'm going to cut in the middle of it some wavy motion just like this. Not right in the middle of it, but sort of like, ooh, now it looks a little bit like an egg that's cracked. The top is cracked off the top of it like that. There we go. So now I've got, when I put it over the sky one, I can see a little bit of sky and a lot of water there. Now I'm going to carefully, I might need to use my scissors for this, so you will need a grown-up's help for this. I'm going to find the middle of my plates while they're overlapping like this, and I'm going to poke a little hole right in the middle of them. There we go. I'm going to be really careful with that. That's why we need a grown-up's help, and I'm going to press my brass brad through there just like this. And so now I can spin one side of my plates. I can spin the sky part of my plate while holding the water still, just like this. There we go. I can take my orange marker and I can draw some fish in the water. Some nice big orangey fish. Let's do one more orangey fish. There we go. So now I've got my fish down there in the water, and now I need to make my dolphin. So I don't want to make him too big. So I'm actually going to take that piece that I cut off my ocean before, and I'm going to sort of trace around it so I can see just about how big my dolphin needs to be. Not very big. So I've got a space there now where I can make my dolphin on my construction paper. So dolphins have a wide tail and a long body with flippers and a fin on top and a bulbous round head and a long snout. There we go. So now I've got my dolphin. I drew my dolphin there. But you can look at a picture of a dolphin, or you could just try to draw a dolphin however you want to make your dolphin. Again, since this is kind of small sometimes, you might need a grown-up's help with cutting this out. But we're going to do our best we can. There we go. I've cut my dolphin out now. And now I'm going to glue my dolphin onto my sky. I'm not going to glue, you might think we want to glue it in the ocean part, but actually I want to glue it onto the sky part. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of my dolphin there and stick it right there in the sky. Ooh, and I'm going to use my pencil here to give it a little eye, maybe a little smile. There we go. It's a happy little dolphin. Perfect. And now, when I hold the water and I spin this part, watch, I can make my dolphin splash and jump out of the ocean and dive back down looking for fish. So cool. So you could make all sorts of jumping dolphins, maybe a whole pod of different colored dolphins all jumping around in the ocean looking for fish. I hope you had a great time today learning about dolphins, and we will see you next time.